Welcome to the NC Spin After Spin. Additional comments from our panelists just available on our website. I want to ask each of you, what do you wish you had said on last week's show, but you didn't? Phil Kirk?
When we were talking about the State Board of Education and Department of Public Instruction, I couldn't help but think back when I had the opportunity to serve on the State Board and Mike Ward was State Superintendent. We met every Monday morning to discuss education issues, and never once did we talk about who had this authority and who had that authority. I don't mean to brag on us, but we just tried to do what we thought was right and didn't worry about who had the authority.
Has it generally been that kind of camaraderie, you think?
Well, that kind of camaraderie doesn't make news. It's the suits that make news. So I'd say there's been some of both.
All right. Chris, tell us what you wish you'd have said on last week's show.
Well, we talked about the legislature coming back to draw new legislative districts. It's interesting the tone has changed. When the General Assembly came back to draw congressional districts after they were overthrown, House Redistricting Chair David Lewis said in open session, our job here is to draw 10 Republican districts out of 13. And it was true, he thought that was legal. Now there's a lawsuit moving through the courts that extreme partisan gerrymandering might also be illegal. And it was interesting that Chairman Lewis's tone was much different this past week when he was asked by reporters, are you here to gerrymander along partisan lines, not racial lines? And he sort of blew the question off. I think people are being a lot more careful at the General Assembly because of the lawsuits about partisan gerrymandering, not just racial gerrymandering.
The U.S. Supreme Court's hearing a case on that now in Wisconsin,
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, all right. John Hood, what do you wish you'd have said on last week's show?
Tom, we were talking about the Leandro case, this new development about a potential consultant being brought in and a commission, and trying to wonder what that's about. In other states, this has already played out. This is actually an old story that North Carolina avoided, but lots of other states and localities have already been through, where you'd have a set of plaintiffs. Sometimes the government being sued would purposefully lose it. So there would be a court order. They would then bring in consultants who tell them that they needed $1 billion or $3 billion or $10 billion more. They'd have a study that proved it. That'd be a court order required investment. The local community would pony up or the state would pony up. Now, for the most part, this didn't accomplish very much, but it was very popular back in the day. North Carolina avoided that because there was a change in the legal standard. Instead of there being a question about equity across the state or something, now it was an adequacy standard. That is still something consultants can play with, and that is ultimately always the reason why plaintiffs sue in these matters, is to get money.
So is it your opinion that what this is all about is this consultant's going to produce a study saying we need another $1 billion?
That is correct. That is what I would expect to happen. And then there will be a question as whether the Supreme Court, who had previously rejected, and Judge Howdy Manning had previously rejected the idea this was simply about the amount of money spent. It's interesting to see if the new Supreme Court will do the same.
Interesting. Dennis Wicker, what do you wish you'd have said on last week's show?
Tom, last week I talked about how a large portion of our school children go to school hungry and how they could not learn if they were having
hunger pains and growling tummies
and toothaches and what have you. I have thought about this question a long time, and I think this is something that local communities need to get involved in. I do not think there's a statewide remedy for such a problem. Not everything is cookie cutter. There are different local problems in different ways and different demographics within the state. And I would say to our viewers that everyone in their community should take note of it, try to find solutions to it, and step up to the plate and try to find ways we can feed these kids. In my home county, we have started a commission at a local level to find out how we can help people who are homeless find a home, and their kids can have food and they can go to school and learn.
Interesting. Well, thanks for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.